Hello and welcome to this edition of Iron Sports, and I am Jermaine Brown. It's the week after champs, and therefore we will be revisiting the recent ISA Boys and Girls Athletic Championships, but specifically focusing on the welfare of the student athletes as well as the contentious false start rule. As usual, let us know what you think by heading to our Facebook page, Iron Sports JA. We take a break, but stick around. When we come back, we're going to be heading back to the track. Soon come.
This is about the fourth time of asking if anything that can come out of this, or good coming out of this, is that Ashanti Moore stumbled out of the blocks on her first attempt. Can she get her start right this time? Set position, a good start for Ashanti Moore. Akira Myers tries to go with her. Ashanti Moore steps on the accelerator now. Ashanti Moore from Ferry in St. Catherine to the National Stadium. The clock downstairs malfunctions, 11.17 on the clock downstairs for Ashanti Moore.
And what more could we have asked for? What a wonderful performance there from Ashanti Moore of Hydel, winning the Class 1 Girls 100 meters at the recent Boys and Girls Championships, which have come and gone, with Kingston College and Edwin Allen crowning themselves champions. However, there were some issues that have been left to be discussed, including the contentious false start rule and also a few athletes running with injuries at the meet. Well, here to discuss those and more, head coach of Hydel, Corey Bennett. And we also have on set with us our very own track and field analyst, football analyst as well, par excellence, Simon Preston. Simon, welcome to Iron Sports, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Both welcome to Iron Sports. And also we have online Dr. Paul Auden. Doc, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, excellent. Corey, let me get to you first, being, of course, coach of Hydel, who really gave Edwin Allen a run for their money. Many weren't expecting that close a challenge. But how are you feeling? I mean, some coaches would say, well, I'd rather lose by 100 points than 7 points, half a point. What do you say?
You know, I'm still having mixed feelings.
Right.
You know, we're grateful to have closed the gap to 7 points. But it's so painful to still be losing by such a small margin. But we're grateful. We're thankful that we're able to have a good championship. Our athletes came out injury-free. And hopefully we can regroup and come back again even stronger next year.
Yeah, as you mentioned, injury-free, because we're going to be touching on that as well. Simon, let me also bring you in here. Kingston College, many didn't predict them to win because 2017 it was a similar situation where it seems as if they would have, but in the end Calabar came through. Your thoughts on KC's victory quickly?
I think it's quite remarkable to see the progress that they have made over the past couple of years. A number of athletes making that transition from Class 2 and 1, and from the progress they've made from the corporate era meet to now at the senior championships, the high school championships as well. You can see that they executed brilliantly and they maximized in the areas that they wanted to. And as their coach Green would say as well, they spread their talent quite well. So you wouldn't find one athlete in 3 or 4 events. Yeah. So it's spread out evenly to help them maximize on those points.
I'm going to come back to that point as well. Dr. Auden? Hello?
Yeah.
Yes, Doc. Right. Your thoughts on boys and girls champs this year? Hydel giving Edwin Allen a run for their money. KC really and truly blowing away the entire competition, including outgoing champions Calabar. But from your perspective, what was the championships like?
Well, let me congratulate Corey Bennett on a job well done.
Thanks.
His team was very well planned, great strategy, and they executed well. He probably had one blip, I think the Class 2 long jumper who didn't qualify for the final of the Class 2 long jump, who had won Central Champs long jump. I think that was maybe 7 points lost. But they did an excellent job coming in. So much so that Edwin Allen had to run 2 athletes who were injured. The 2 athletes won, but they were not the best. Roshana Dwyer, class 2, 800, and Kevona Davis, class 2, 200, who could not take further part in the meeting there, 4x1. If you remember, Roshana Dwyer had suffered the injury at the Digital Grand Prix when she stopped at the top of the straightaway.
Right.
When she was running the class 2 800 at Digital Grand Prix. So what faced Michael Dyke, I don't face any coach, was he had to run 2 injured athletes, and they both won, so they gave 18 points. If he withdraws any of them, Heidel wins the Girls' Championships. So if Kevona pulls out, Heidel wins. If Roshana Dyer is pulled out, Heidel wins. And he also gambled, knowing Michael Dyke, that if his girls even lost, but came third, let's say Kevona came third, let's say Roshana Dyer came third, he would only drop 6 points. So let's say he had 2 third place instead of 2 wins. He would have won Girls' Champs by 1 point. So Edwin Allen, management, coaching staff took their chance, taped up the girls because they were very well strapped and bandaged, right? You know, back and front, you know, of the lower limbs, and gambled that they could not afford to pull out any of those girls because 9 points dropped was Girls' Champs loss. So, and if you do a survey of any coach, defending champion especially, the title on the line would probably have gambled that boy, even if the girls don't run at max speed, but can come in the top 3, I will still win championships. If you poll every coach with that opportunity, they're going to do it. They're going to run the girls in to secure the title.
All right, quickly, Dr. Auden, on the boys' side of things, you noted, you know, that you saw quite a few of the athletes on the girls' side running with bandages and so on. On the boys' side, did you see much of that?
Well, you heard whispers that a couple injuries were in the Calabar camp, somewhere between the Digicel corporate area meet to Digicel Grand Prix coming into champs. That thing, they were not 100%. So it manifested with the du jour Russell not being at his best, Christopher Taylor. Not to say that they were the best Calabar would have won, because Casey had an awesome chance. You know, Casey came, you know, I came, I saw, I conquered. Right. You know, yeah.
Quickly, though, another question, before I move this same question around to the other panelists. In terms of your concern about the number of athletes you saw competing with injuries, is it a major cause for concern, or is it one that you think at this level?
Well, I am concerned about Kevona Davis because this is 3 consecutive seasons with injuries. She missed a world meet in 2017, injured last year trials, was on the Jamaica team and was injured then, injured last year, and this year again. But she's a superb athlete, so we have to pray and hope that she can be part of a group we're looking forward to for the future, herself and Brianna Williams especially. And there are some other young ones who are around that hopefully things will come together, certainly for 2024. You know, you're not sure if they will be at this, but they could be on relay squads for 2020.
All right. Corey, let me bring you in. In terms of injuries, those will come. It's almost expected and that injuries will come along the way. How do you, as head coach of Heidel, deal with injuries, particularly to your major athletes that you know that you're looking to give you points? So how do you treat this?
I mean, the first thing has to be rest. You know, let's take for example Redana Lee, who broke record in the hurdles last year and was second in the 100 behind Kevona. She had an injury early, about November, to the knee, and we had to back her all the way off. So where she was at champs was really about November in her program. You really don't have much of a choice. I mean, the athletes really come first. We have to back them off and seek some medical advice. And hopefully they are pain-free to compete at champ, even if they're not at the best.
Yeah. Simon, do you get the feeling that it is still win at all costs at champs, and that some athletes are forced to, even if it's not physically, mentally put out there to compete to get points for their team, because it's important for the coaches to win and to keep their jobs and so on. You get that feeling?
I do think it is a concern, but at what cost? Because if you look at our international calendar this year, there's the Carifta Games on the horizon, the Pan Am Games in Lima, Peru, and also the World Championships as well. So we're risking these athletes when it comes to the injuries when they have trials coming up for these respective events and who want to represent the country and do well. So those are concerns with this major calendar that we have moving forward.
Yeah. Doc? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, let me bring you back in. What is your advice to some of these coaches when they bring the young athletes to you with injuries? What is your advice to them, and what kind of feedback do you get from them in respect to wanting the athletes to compete even whilst injured?
Well, the first advice is recognize early that the injuries in most cases are overuse injuries, stress-related. You train hard, background, especially in the speed events, the explosive events. So recognize early that if there's an injury, I am not the medical expert. I'm a coach. Seek medical advice. Corey Bennett said it well. And from early, there was a school, I was in the treatment room on Wednesday, the sports medicine unit. And a girl was brought in. So I was manning the emergency unit. Girl was brought in, I clacked her, and I carried her down to the sports medicine unit from a corporate area school. I think it's a class 3 or 2 athlete, distance runner. And she has been carrying an injury for 2 years. Very frail, wiry person. And she's presenting at Girls' Champs on the Wednesday morning with this injury. And when you examined, very tender, very painful for her, very tender to our touch. And I said, how long have you had this? She said, since several weeks. But I said, this is not a new injury. She said, no, she's been carrying this injury for 2 years. Now, you're a coach having this injury for 2 years. You're duty-bound to get to sports medicine specialists or orthopedic surgeons to analyze, do x-rays, do ultrasounds, do scans. What type of injury is this? You know, why is this not getting better? Am I doing something wrong as a coach? Is the surface bad? Whatever it is, are the track shoes bad? Are the spikes bad? You know, is my training modalities right? Whatever it is, you need to sit down with some sports medicine specialists and, you know, sort this out. But not carry her injured for 2 years at the height of the season with the same injury.
All right.
So, you know, you see these things and you're saying, well, so many times, sometimes now, I see with the younger coaches, if you're not careful, they're assuming sports medicine duties as if they're specialists in the area.
Right.
So you may not be able to afford it, but recognize some limitations that it's not my treatment area.
Yeah.
You know,
All right, Doc.
this injury is happening. What do I do about it? Seek medical advice. Seek medical expertise.
All right, Doc, I'm duty-bound to take a break, so I'm going to seek that now. And when we come back, we continue this discussion in respect to the athletes' welfare at the recent Boys and Girls Championships and also that contentious fall start rule. Soon come.